Breaking now at 6 o'clock, a story that continues to develop. We now know that 22 people were hurt, one critically, in that dramatic and violent crash between a semi and a Greyhound bus. Tonight, team coverage. We're hearing from banged up passengers, and we're looking at why MDOT calls that stretch of road a problem spot.
And Target 8 investigates after we uncovered surveillance video of people dumping their trash instead of donations at a Grand Rapids charity. Tonight, we're going after the people involved.
And a beautiful evening in store for us here in West Michigan, but Kyle and I are already tracking showers and storms which could reach us tomorrow.
What did the police say when you brought them this evidence?
They've heard.
A great-grandma allegedly taken for thousands by her friend. Tonight she's talking to us about how they caught the accused crook. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Sterling.
And I'm Marley Ginter. 24-hour News 8 at 6 starts now.
This is a breaking news alert from 24-hour News 8.
First at 6 o'clock, we have new information just in a few moments ago about this violent bus wreck near Kalamazoo. We're now being told that 22 people were hurt today, 9 of them sent to the hospital, 1 is in critical condition. A Greyhound bus smashed into the semi-truck near the Climax exit, basically impaling it.
And we've been all over this story since it happened around 10:30 this morning. Just take a look at this intense video sent to us by passengers. The damage was so bad, passengers were being pulled out of windows.
Both Ken Kolker and Joe LaFurgey are live for us in Kalamazoo tonight. Joe's going to show you a very close look at the damage.
But first, let's go to Ken Kolker. He's been talking to passengers on that bus. So Ken, we know there were some problems with the replacement bus. So where does that stand now?
Well, the replacement bus broke down again. We were told just minutes ago, about 20 minutes outside Chicago. We just got a call from a passenger on that bus. Now, it looks to be the second time that bus has broken down on the trip to Chicago after this accident. Now, before this accident, we talked to passengers here at the Kalamazoo terminal who told us about what happened in that crash and then shared video of what happened moments after the impact. While many on the bus from Detroit to Chicago were napping, D'Angelo Langford said that he was texting when the Greyhound crashed into the back of a semi.
My head hit the seat and I was startled. I jumped up and I seen that the bus was shifting towards the right, towards the rail.
He says he ran to the front of the bus, which was still skidding.
The bus was still moving. Yeah, the bus was moving.
The bus still hooked to the back of the semi. Glass was everywhere, passengers were trapped inside, and the bus driver was pinned in.
His hands weren't on the wheel, but he looked up at me, and I yelled and said, "Hit the brakes," and we stopped.
Many passengers told us they had no idea what was happening.
It's a lot going on, and it's going in slow motion. I hear noises, like air, like I don't know if we're being dragged. It's a scene, it's a sequence going on. Not the dream sequence, but the nightmare sequence.
I woke up and I just saw the glass shattering everywhere, and it was all over me and everything.
Her head smashed into the seat in front of her.
It's like swollen, just like right up here. I think, yeah, when I was sleeping, I just like woke up and hit the glass right behind the driver.
Many of the injured passengers had been sitting near the front of the bus.
1 out of 5 people were you turn around and they're like, they got some situation going on.
Passengers said the chaos quickly turned to calm as they helped each other and waited for rescuers to arrive.
Once it happened, everybody came together. We all looked after each other.
Because the front door was smashed in, firefighters had to help them out the windows. Now, that replacement of that bus actually left here around 3:30 this afternoon. Should have been arriving 6:30 our time in Chicago, but as I said earlier, it broke down a few minutes outside of Kalamazoo, got on back on the road within 10 minutes, and then it broke down again just outside of Chicago. Now we're trying to find out from Greyhound when it might finally arrive in the Windy City. Live in Kalamazoo, Ken Kolker, 24-hour News 8.
What a mess. Thanks, Ken. Let's turn things over to 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey now.
He's live tonight at the tow yard where that damaged bus was hauled away. So, Joe, what happened?
Yeah, Marley, Brian, just recapping that new bit of information we got just in the last few minutes from the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department. The injury toll right now, 21. 8 people transported to the hospital, 1 in critical condition. I want to show you, this is what rescue crews found when they arrived on the scene on I-94 just west of the Climax exit early this afternoon. Take a look at the front of the bus and you can tell the impact. It goes from top to bottom about, and if you look right next door here, there's a semi-trailer that is about the same height as the one that hit this bus today. Take a look around here. We'll show you where the worst injuries occurred. Now, we had earlier on that the driver was okay, and it's pretty amazing that he got out okay, but take a look at the steering wheel, take a look at the dashboard. He got out, he was trapped, but they did get him out. The problem is in this front section of the bus. That is the passenger who remains in critical condition. That is where that passenger was sitting earlier today. The scene left even veteran rescuers shaking their heads.
When you see the front end of a bus impaled on the back of a semi-trailer, you're not confident that at the end of the day, everybody's going to walk away from that incident. Right now, it really appears that is the case.
11 of the 36 passengers on their way from Toronto to Chicago were treated for minor injuries, but the driver of the bus was trapped. The front of the Greyhound wrapped around the driver's compartment.
We had a doctor on scene almost the entire incident that was monitoring the vitals and the patient's condition, to the point where the doctor is now telling me once we've got him out, they did an assessment, and on the scene it looks like he's going to be fine.
The crash happened mid-morning just west of the Climax exit off of westbound I-94. The bus came up behind the semi, hit the back, became impaled on the trailer.
The truck driver was able to guide the accident to the edge of the road, being that the two vehicles were connected.
The westbound lanes of the expressway remained shut down for several hours while officers tried to figure out what led to the crash.
This accident very well could have had something to do with the ramp. The semi-truck might have been getting onto the highway. We're investigating that further.
And again, as is the case so many times when you have a breaking news situation, a traumatic incident like this, they still try to get the numbers together. But what we found in the last couple of minutes, 1 passenger towards the front of the bus, critical condition at a Kalamazoo hospital. We'll be updating you throughout the evening on this crash. Live in Kalamazoo, Joe LaFurgey, 24-Hour News 8.
Right after the crash happened, a lot of you who drive I-94 called and emailed us to tell us that that stretch of freeway is horrible. It's prone to crashes, and MDOT says they're aware of it. Well, take a look. If you look at exit 88 from the air, this is a satellite image. You can see it's heavily wooded, and when you drive that stretch of road, you can see that those trees creep right up to the edge of the freeway. MDOT acknowledges that this is an area, it's a hot spot for crashes, but they say it's not the fault of the freeway. They say it's just as wide as any other portion of the freeway, and they maintain it's well designed. Their theory for all of these crashes is that it's a tunnel effect caused by the trees and that concrete center divider that you might be able to see on the edge of the video. They say that it actually deceives drivers, kind of an optical illusion. Motorists always slow down there because they start to feel pinned in, and that's when crashes occur. We also crunched some of the data when searching for crashes in that spot. The latest numbers from 2012 shows 11 crashes there. More than half of those were rear-end crashes because of slowdowns. MDOT says they're aware of all of this, and they'll continue to study ways to help that situation.